Here's a moving story with a lot of heart, and it's just in time for this year's 10th Annual American Heart Ball. Hear it coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Myrtle Beach Marriott Resort at Grand Dunes. We're focused on the 10th Annual American Heart Ball to be held here tomorrow night. And we're visiting with Lance Thompson, the Vice President and General Manager of Ocean Lakes Family Campground and one of the volunteers.
Right.
Lance, thanks so much for getting in.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
34, 35 hours away from the Heart Ball.
We're excited. That'll be a great event.
It's going to be incredible. And thank you so much. Part of the reason I wanted to get you in, not only as a volunteer for the Heart Association, one of the board members, but having solicited one of the really big ticket items this year, that new the golf cart.
Right. That worked out great from Club Car Incorporated. So we're really looking forward to that being a good auction item for us.
Absolutely. You know, it's so exciting to see we've got that Red Line Power Sports has donated that four-wheeler again, the 650 Bombardier. We've got an incredible lineup of dinners and golf packages. I think
wonderful.
You'll help provide some through the Jackson companies for some other golf courses as well. Share with the viewers a little bit about that golf cart.
Well, Club Car International agreed to donate a reconditioned golf cart. It's about a year old, and they've gone through it, and it doesn't have many hours on it, but a great-looking golf cart, fun for the family. It's something that they were willing to do for a good cause. We're a partner with them in that we buy a lot of golf carts for our rental fleet at the campground, so they agreed to do this because it was a great cause and helped support us, and we hope that there'll be a lot of interest in that tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, very definitely. You know, Lance, yesterday I was at OceanLakes.com. We have 29 miles of paved roads.
We do. We
down
absolutely
at the family campground. That's insane.
Yeah, it's a big place, and a lot of those 29 miles are filled up with golf carts.
I was about to say,
that's the preferred mode of transportation around Ocean Lakes.
Absolutely. So that for viewers who may not have visited Ocean Lakes, of course, it's located a real central location where 544 dead ends essentially at the ocean.
Right at our gate. Yep.
Right.
By design.
Yeah. That is exciting.
Yeah.
Well, what about for viewers who may not have been there? What's it like driving around there? Now, when you go in, do you use a golf cart or do you get in a
Occasionally
car?
I do. Yeah, occasionally a golf cart, mostly in my vehicle. But the guests and some of our workers are on golf carts, and it's just really a whole self-contained resort environment. And a lot of folks, a lot of residents, a lot of guests, and we've got a lot of teammates that work there as well. So it's a fun place to come visit and a fun place to work.
How long have you been at Ocean Lakes, Lance?
19 years.
Oh, come on.
Hard to believe, 19 years.
Out of high school.
Well, not quite. Thanks for that, but no, not quite. But 19 years. It's been very fortunate. The Jackson family has been wonderful for me and for all of our teammates, and it's a wonderful place to work, great group of people, and we got folks that love to come to work every day, and that makes all the difference in the world in their performance.
Absolutely. And speaking of the Jackson family, I think last Thursday it was. Y'all had a big celebration.
We certainly did. Mr. Jackson turned 84 last Thursday, and we had a little the birthday party he knew about. What he didn't know about, a little surprise, he and Mrs. Jackson also received the Order of the Palmetto from the governor, who unfortunately was not able to attend, but he sent his regards, and Representative Tom Keegan presented the award to Mr. and Ms. Jackson for their community service over the years here in the Grand Strand.
Now, the Jacksons receive award after award after award. They are so well recognized.
They are, and they've worked really hard and done a lot for the community and a lot for us, and so I'm glad to see them get the recognition that they so much deserve.
We were so blessed last summer to get Nelson in, and we hope to get Mary Emily in sometime, but Nelson came into the studio actually with Barb Crum one day, and to hear him use that word teammates, and to hear him just emanate and get so excited about talking about teammates and folks throughout, and then talking about launching Ocean Lakes in 71, just the experiences in his life with his 4 or 5 girls.
5 daughters.
5 daughters, that's right. The experience for him surrounded, and you surrounded by 3 women, he's surrounded by 6.
Yep, that's exactly right.
What's that like, Lance, having women all around you, no boys or guys to turn to?
My wife likes to say that I wasn't quite specific enough years ago when I said I wanted to live in a house full of wild women, because I got what I asked for. I just wasn't quite specific enough. So, but it's wonderful. I couldn't ask for anything better. We're very fortunate to have 2 beautiful girls and a wonderful family.
Savannah and Chandler.
Correct.
Yes, that's right. Sometimes I see both of them on a regular basis, but It's amazing to think girls are such a special thing.
They are, and it's amazing how fast they're growing, too. It's a little bit scary for me, getting older.
Oh, God, Lance, you and Marjorie both. That's right.
Yeah.
And both of y'all are so busy. And, of course, your girls are out with you so often at many of the charitable things we'll see at. Either it's a Miracle League or a Heart Association event or obviously March of Dimes things.
Right.
What's that been like for them to see their folks involved? Your wife in Friendship House.
Right, yeah. She's been very active as well, and we've been very fortunate to be able to include them in some of the activities. And both of them have come and bowled with me in the Junior Achievement Bowl-a-thon. So it's just really neat to include them and make it kind of a family affair. And it kind of helps for us to justify the time to do this kind of stuff when we can have them participate as well, not to be away from them so much.
Lance, share with the viewers, obviously, the bulk of our viewers are the PD in southeastern North Carolina, and they may not have spent time with you here on the Strand. Share with the viewers a little about yourself. Are you originally from the area?
No, I'm not. I was born in Charlotte and kind of grew up all over North Carolina. My dad was with Burlington Industries, so we moved quite often as we followed him through his career and throughout North Carolina. But ended up going to college at UNC Wilmington, really fell in love with the beach and loved it. Went to graduate school at Clemson University and stayed up there and taught for a while after I graduated with my master's degree, but was very fortunate to be able to come back to the beach and get hooked up with the Jackson family and Ocean Lakes family campground, and have really enjoyed my 19 years with them. So it's just been a wonderful situation for me and for Marjorie and the two girls as well, and for us to be able to raise a family along the Grand Strand.
Lance, growing up in North Carolina, did you, obviously going to UNC Wilmington, that must have had some attraction. Did you grow up coming down to Myrtle Beach at all?
We certainly did. With my dad being in textiles, we didn't get to pick our vacation. Vacation was 4th of July. The mill was shut down, and that was everybody's vacation. So we actually came and camped in Myrtle Beach. That was our family vacation just about every year when we were, in our younger years, the kids. I have a brother and a sister, and we kind of grew up in the summertime camping in Myrtle Beach. So it's interesting that I was able to make that a career later on in life.
Yes, that is. Now, do your brother and sister come down and visit much? Or
They do. My sister lives in Charlotte. My brother's in Rocky Mount, and they're able to come. And it's nice to be in an area where families want to come not only to see us as family, but also to vacation and all the many wonderful things there are to do along the Grand Strand. So we're fortunate that they come this direction more than we have to go their direction.
Oh, absolutely. Lance, are your folks still living?
They're in Charlotte, yes.
They are. So they must love getting down and seeing you down here as well.
It used to be that they would come occasionally to see us. Since the grandchildren arrived, and they come a lot to see the grandchildren. We know our importance in the big scheme of things.
Oh, yes, very definitely. Well, that's exciting. Well, you think about that experience and being with the Jackson Companies now. You said 19 years.
19 years.
Wow.
And I honestly thought that way back in 1985, I would come to the beach, work for a couple of years, and then go get a real job. Fortunately, this turned into a real job for me, and the company's grown, and we've had wonderful opportunities in this community, and the family's been successful, and the business has been successful. So it was a wonderful opportunity for me to be here and stay here.
Lance, now, did you meet Marjorie in the upstate or in North Carolina, or did you meet her down here?
UNC Wilmington.
Really?
Yeah, it's funny. Our parents now live about 15 miles apart, but we didn't meet until we got to Wilmington. And she's a little younger than me, so I was a senior on my way out, and she was a freshman on her way in when we actually met.
Is that right? Well, how'd y'all get hooked up?
Well, we met as I was kind of finishing my college career, and then fortunately we were able to, through my master's degree at Clemson, we kind of kept in touch and kind of did the long distance thing. And then she was still in Wilmington when I moved to Myrtle Beach. She came down and did an internship and was fortunate enough to be able to secure employment down here as well. And one thing led to another, and then you know what happens, marriage and the kids, and it works out great.
Well, now y'all waited a little while to have kids though, right?
Well, we did. It was, both of us kind of getting established in our careers and all, and so I was almost 30 before we decided to have children.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
But it worked great. It gave me a chance to mature a little bit, too. So.
We'll have to ask Marjorie about that.
That's right.
And your degree at Clemson was your master's degree was in?
Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Management. So it worked out great to be able to come to Ocean Lakes and be able to put my education to work for me.
Absolutely. And of course, I think I saw in a fact you'd sent me last week, Ocean Lakes was recognized as the National RV Park of the Year in 97, 99, 2002, 2003. What's the significance of that, Lance? What exactly, I mean, how many RV parks are there in the country? Do you have any idea?
Well, there's, I don't know exactly how many. There's about 600 that are members of our national association. And so we were in competition with the larger of those parks. And it's just been wonderful to get that recognition and to be able to say that we were awarded that recognition. And it helps us to be able to promote that and hopefully bring new campers to us that want to experience an award-winning operation.
Absolutely. And there's some other locations on the Strand that compete with you or that are members of that same national group and compete. And
correct.
What's that like for other national RV parks around the country to recognize that Myrtle Beach has got such a dominant presence?
Well, we like to consider Myrtle Beach as the camping capital of the world, and there are 7 wonderful family campgrounds along the Grand Strand, and all of them do a wonderful job. And we've got a great local association where we work together to promote camping in Myrtle Beach. So as a destination, so we all get along well. And although we're competitors, we're friendly competitors, and we know the ultimate objective is to bring more campers to Myrtle Beach, and then they're going to find their favorite campground, which really works well for everyone.
That's exactly right, and those are key words. Friendly competitors. David Durant was with us, 4 or 5 months ago, talking about the United Way. We were over the Myrtle Beach Herald taping, and it was so exciting hearing him. I think he heads up that campground group. The 7 or 8 are involved in an organization that helps oversee or tie those together. It was exciting hearing him talk about the friendly.
Oh, absolutely. We all get along well and again are able to pool some resources and promote Myrtle Beach camping as a destination. It works well for all of us.
Last time we were together, Lance, I think we were over at Myrtle Beach Golf Holiday.
We were, absolutely.
Talking about the March of Dimes Ride for Babies, another amazing charity. And then we got into another one in just a second. But share with the viewers a little about how that turned out. Was the weather good that day?
It really cooperated with us. It was a good day, and we had a great turnout, and everybody had a lot of fun, and the sponsors and supporters were wonderful, and we raised a lot of money for the March of Dimes that day. So it was a great event, and people really enjoyed doing something a little different. And we were very fortunate with the weather and hope to do that again this fall and have another great event and really support the March of Dimes again.
I think I remember back in 97 or 98 when we were in Leadership Grand Strand together, you were doing some fundraising for another ride. Maybe it was a ride across America. You and Marjorie were heading somewhere. What was that about?
We've actually done the Kyle Petty charity ride across America 4 times, completely from California to North Carolina. And last year we met them in Tallahassee and did the last leg with them. We ended up in Daytona Beach for the Earnhardt tribute concert. And then this year we're going back again to California in May, and we'll end up at the Victory Junction Gang Camp in Randomon. Kyle and Patty Petty are doing for chronically ill children. And so most of the proceeds from this charity ride this year and over the past few years have gone to Victory Junction Gang Camp. And the NASCAR community has really been supportive, and that the Petty family, and it's in Adam Petty's honor, who they lost to an accident on the racetrack a few years ago. But it's been very exciting to be involved in that event. A great experience, great way to see the country on a motorcycle, and for us to be able to enjoy one of our hobbies.
And you and Marjorie do that together.
We do. She rides on the back of the motorcycle, and we get a little quality time, and it's a lot of fun. Great people and great experience, and we're doing it for a good cause. So we visit children's hospitals across the country and are able to the NASCAR drivers and some celebrities are able to brighten their lives a little bit too, which really means an awful lot.
Oh, golly. Absolutely, Lance. I remember when we were together there over at Sea Captains filming a separate spot for that, for the March of Dimes Ride for Babies. And to see the excitement of Savannah, your daughter, as she's standing near the bike and the excitement. Now,
she's got an awful lot of enthusiasm.
Oh, yeah, very definitely. Just a point of interest, do children ever get on motorcycles, or how is that?
Yeah, Chandler, my 12-year-old, has ridden with me in a couple of Christmas parades and some local events. She didn't like to ride very far, very fast. Savannah likes the motorcycle as long as it's not cranked. When it cranks up, it's a little too loud for her, so she gets excited about seeing it, but when it gets cranked, she wants to be nowhere near it.
Oh, I'm sure. That's right. It's too loud for me, I think, Lance.
Yeah.
Too loud for both of us. I think even before that, Lance, last summer, we were together over the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
Place you spent a heck of a lot of time.
I sure have.
And we were there focused on the 52nd Annual Sun Fund, which you were chairing and general chairman, I think, for the second year in a row.
Second year in a row, right. That was a great event, very successful. We had the Thunderbirds last year and great turnout. The weather was perfect, and we had a wonderful Sun Fund last summer, and looking forward to the 53rd this year and a great event as well.
Are you the chairman again this year, Lance?
I'm not. I'm the immediate past chairman. I did my 2 years, and so I've rotated off. I'm still on the committee and working hard and helping to support the new chairman, who's Lou Edgar, and he's done a wonderful job. And we've got the Blue Angels coming to perform this year at the Air Show, and a lot of exciting new events, trying some new things, and a lot of things that ought to really kind of ramp up the festival for this year. So everybody's real excited and enthusiastic about having a great event this summer.
As I sit here and hear you talk, Lance, my mind's just racing, thinking about all these charities you're involved in and the amount of time, and it speaks.
Makes you wonder how it worked, doesn't
I know, it speaks volumes about the Jackson companies, to think that y'all can be recognized as the National RV Park of the Year, year after year after year, but that their vice president and general manager, one of the three vice presidents, I guess, of the company, is able to be out bowling, traveling across the bowling for junior achievement,
right,
traveling across the country for the Victory Junction Gang Camp, chairing up the Chamber of Commerce, heading up the general chairman of the Sun Fund Festival, active as a founding member of the Horry County Board of the March of Dimes, and just, I mean, not even touching the Heart Association or so many others. How do you do it, Lance?
Well, we've been so fortunate to have the Jackson family and the companies support all of our endeavors in the community, and we know that it's very important to give back, and so it's enjoyable for me and Marjorie. She's very involved too, and the other teammates that we have within the companies. You know, Dennis Wade is a past chairman of the board for the Myrtle Beach Chamber. He's the walk chair for this year's March of Dimes Walk America. You mentioned David Durant, the United Way, and Steve Alger with the YMCA board and the Board of Zoning Appeals with the county. So we've all been very involved in the community, and it really has been nice to have the support from Mr. and Ms. Jackson and the $5, the owners of the business, that allow us to go out, spend time in the community, and we think it all comes home too. It really helps us in the end as well, and it's very enjoyable. So it's something that keeps us busy and out of trouble.
And when you say it helps us, obviously, the Jackson Company's involved in a lot more than just Ocean Lakes Family Campground.
Right. Prestwick Country Club, Crystal Lake Mobile Home Village, Saybrook is a new development we've got going on with retail and commercial out 544. So we do have a lot going on and got a great team, a lot of folks that are very enthusiastic about their work, and we're all very fortunate, again, to be associated with the Jackson family.
Absolutely. Lance, now, in the summertime, you go over, and I believe you live down on the south end of the beach.
I do.
So you go over and stay over at the campground where you spend all day? I mean,
it's funny. We do live at Prestwick Country Club, which is right across from Ocean Lakes, but we built a little house at Ocean Lakes for our girls to be close to the beach and the playground and to get on a golf cart and ride around. And years ago, if you'd have told me I'd go back to work after work, I'd have said absolutely not. But it is such a fun place that only living 2 miles away, we do enjoy taking our children over and enjoying the vast amenities that are available at Ocean Lakes, and kind of seeing the other side, being a guest from that perspective. So it's been a lot of fun.
It is exciting. We were so thankful. Brad, the former producer, Carolina People, and I were there in the studio when Nelson was in, and he gave us some passes for the windshield there, which just gave entrance to get in, to get down to the beach, and of course the access down there, as well as those amazing
I hope you're coming and using them a lot. So.
Yeah, we did. It expired, but that's right. We'll have to call Nelson and get him back in. That's right. Absolutely. You know, Lance, it's so exciting. Of course, the big focus, we've got about 10 minutes. Big focus is tomorrow night.
Right.
To think we'll be here right behind us. Folks will be streaming in. At 900 folks will be streaming in right behind us tomorrow night at about 34 hours. To think of the excitement. You've attended a lot of hardballs.
I sure have, and it's a great event. The Heart Association staff works very hard. Our volunteers have worked very hard, and it always is a wonderful event. One of the really most popular of the black tie galas around the Grand Strand, one that people look forward to all year long, and like you say, about 900 people we're expecting, and I know everybody's going to have a great time. This wonderful new facility here, and it'll really be exciting tomorrow night.
One of the really exciting things is the Marriott not only provided this amazing deal to get in here. Of course, it's one of the first big events they'll be holding here on the Strand last year. You remember the incredible grand opening of the Radisson Plaza Hotel.
Right.
They did so much for the Heart Association to make it a big success for us and to help us net $200,000+.
That's
of course, the Marriott extending this opportunity to have up to 900 folks, but also helping to lock in a price for the next couple of years. If it's a big success, to lock in something so we know we can continue to build on that momentum.
We've been very fortunate to be associated with first the Radisson, now the Marriott, and it really helps the Heart Association in this specific event, and it really ought to help us be successful tomorrow night.
Lance, what first got you active in an interest to become an active board member on the American Heart Association's Waccamaw division? Oftentimes you never know why someone gets involved
Yeah, I mentioned that Marjorie and I are involved in a lot of different functions, but we do have a special affinity for the Heart Association because our youngest daughter, Savannah, has a heart ailment. She was born with Williams syndrome, which is a lot like Downs, physical and mental disabilities. And one of the physical disabilities for all Williams children is a heart defect. And Savannah has aortic stenosis, which is a narrowing of her aortic artery. And so we knew from a very early age that Savannah was going to have open heart surgery. And the doctors tried to encourage us to wait as late as possible, let her get older and bigger and stronger. But right before she turned 4, it was time to go in and fix that stenosis that she had. And although she had been sedated numerous times up until then with echocardiograms and EKGs and all the stuff she had going on with her heart up until the surgery, she had never actually had anesthesia. And when they administered the anesthesia that morning for the surgery, she went into cardiac arrest and they could not get her heart started back. So the doctors came to us and explained the dilemma and said, we're going to go ahead, we've located the surgeon, we're going to open her chest and go ahead and do this surgery, but you need to understand the chances are her heart will not start back after the surgery. And obviously we were just devastated, but they did. They opened her heart, opened her chest, did the surgery, and her heart did get started back afterwards. So the surgeon came and said the good news is her heart started back. The bad news is she was about 23 minutes without oxygen to her brain at all.
23 minutes
while they were trying to get her hooked up to the bypass machine. And so the doctor said she has suffered significant brain damage. And we didn't know what significant meant, but they said we need for her to wake up after this surgery as quickly as possible. In the next day or 2 or 3, 23 days later, she was still on life support, no recognition of her awareness of her surroundings, no recognition of us. And so at the 23rd day, they called us in and said, at 30 days, she's clinically in a vegetative state. After 23 days now, she's shown no improvement. You kind of got what you see. She's never going to get any better. She's not going to recognize you. She's not going to be able to smile. She's laying in bed on life support. You need to start thinking about some decisions and some options for you. And so, again, we were just devastated. We thought this is as good as she's ever going to be. But like things often happen, that night she started to get better. And then she just started to wake up. And it was amazing to see her right after the doctor said she's not going to get any better, to really get better and get better fast. After about 5 weeks, we took her home. She still had a feeding tube in her stomach, but took her home, and she has some slight left side paralysis. She wears a brace on her left leg, but she can walk and she can talk, and she recognizes us, and she's in school, and the quality of life is more than we ever could have expected when we were in the hospital. So we're very thankful for the heart surgeon, Dr. Scott Bradley at MUSC, and all that the Heart Association does, and the research and development. And they saved her life at the medical university, and we're very thankful and appreciative to them. And it makes it a little more special for us to be involved in the Heart Association because of Savannah.
Absolutely, and of course, and Scott Bradley's a pediatric cardiovascular
Absolutely,
surgeon.
he sure is. Yep, he sure is.
As you and I both know, and I just want to throw that in because we got a couple of minutes. A good friend of ours who's been active on the Heart Association board, Ann Lehman, who served as president for 2 years, is having surgery in a couple hours. So,
that's right, today, and our thoughts and prayers go out to Ann as she goes through that, and hopefully she hates missing the heart ball tomorrow night, but this is a procedure she needed to have done, and hopefully she'll bounce back quickly and be right back in there with us working on next year's heart ball.
Absolutely, Lance. Golly, for you and Marjorie, those 23 days leading up to when Dr. Bradley or the others would come in and talk to you about the position of after 30 days.
Right.
What was that? I can't even fathom that, Lance.
Surreal.
I can't fathom that.
Marjorie never left the hospital at all. She stayed down there right by Savannah's side the entire time. And I was driving back to Myrtle Beach trying to keep Chandler, our older daughter, with some semblance of normalcy with school and all. And then we were going down on weekends, and we just... We really didn't think she would ever leave the hospital, and we had kind of resigned ourselves to that. But now we are so thankful and fortunate that things turned out the way they did, because and even for them to make the decision to go ahead and do the surgery, I guess in other circumstances they would just say, well, she went into cardiac arrest and we can't get her heart started back. But they decided to go ahead and do the surgery, and then afterwards got her heart started back. And things just really have turned out that we've been blessed and are extremely happy with her progress up to now. And although she still has a lot of challenges, she'll probably never live independently. She's probably going to be with us forever, and we'll have some mental obstacles ongoing and physical as well. But she has a high quality of life and is a sweet child, and she's just blessed us tremendously to be a part of our life.
And everyone who's met her.
Absolutely.
And everyone who's met her. And for y'all, I guess that's really prompted both you and Marjorie's interest in the March of Dimes as well.
It has, and the Miracle League that you mentioned. Savannah plays baseball at the Miracle League, which is an opportunity for children that wouldn't normally have an opportunity to participate in sports to play baseball. And it's a special field that wheelchairs and walkers can move about on, and so it really does make it a little more personal for us to get involved in these different things, and we feel like we're doing something good for Savannah and others like her, and it really gives you a good feeling.
April 3rd is a big day.
Great big day. It sure is. Opening day for the Miracle League and the Walk America for the March of Dimes. So unfortunately they're conflicting with each other. I'd like to be at both of them, but there's so much going on that that's bound to happen, I guess, in some cases. But we're looking forward to a great day on April 3rd.
You don't have to ask Lance Thompson his inspirations. He's inspired by his amazing daughters and wife, inspired by incredible employers, the Jackson Companies, and Mary Emily and Nelson Jackson. So many instances in his life that have given the inspiration to really step out, get out here tomorrow night to support the American Heart Association, something very close to Lance Thompson's heart. Lance, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. We want to thank Lance Thompson and his amazing family, as well as his family of teammates at the Ocean Lakes Family Campground, for making today's Carolina People so special. Get out here. You got 34 hours. Call the Heart Association office at 843-639-39 to see if there are any more tickets available.